So here's an example of how you might use the sketch and tell protocol. In this science activity, we're going to read a page, and I can choose just a small page, like just this content right here. There are more pages on here, but I might just want them to understand water and its how it changes states. So they might just read this page, and as they're reading, there are some things that the textbook tells them to do, which you could certainly have them do that and fill in these things as well. But if I want them to use the sketch and tell protocol, I'm going to have them read this paragraph. And really the main thing that we're seeing here, if you read it, is that when we heat water or cool water, it changes states. And we have melting and freezing and water vapor becoming a gas, things like that. And I might highlight these key concepts: evaporation, condensation, and melting and freezing. So I'm gonna head to this sketch and tell right here, and I am going to do some work on this and then show you what my finished product looks like. So I'm gonna start by using my add-on called the Noun Project, which allows me to get a variety of free icons. I'm just searching for some different key phrases and putting them in there. And I'm showing an equation by adding the two. So I have ice plus heat equals water. And then I'm just reusing that water icon as well in the heat one. And I've kind of have one side set up for when we add heat. And now I'm copying and pasting and finding something that represents coldness. So in this case, snowflakes. And I'm just reusing all of those icons and shapes to make it. Then I'm going to take a shape and kind of divide the two. And then I'm just using word art to kind of title it. And I've made it some different colors, like red for heating and blue for cooling. And I'm going to use those keywords of freezing and melting and condensation and evaporation. All right, so here is my simple sketch and tell. All I did was really just use icons. And I use these icons from the Noun Project, which is an add-on that I installed. But you could probably find many if you go into Insert Image and search the web and search for like ice icon. And you're going to find, some different things, not all of them. But there are some that could represent that. And there's other add-ons that you can use for icons. But what I've done here is I've just kind of sketched these different things. And so I would tell a partner now, saying that when I read this, I saw that when you take ice and when you add heat to it, it starts to melt and becomes water. And then when you take water and add heat to it, it becomes steam, or I think the word that it used was water vapor. And, it's vapor, because that's called evaporation. And so going from water to steam or vapor is called evaporation. And then you can do the opposite. If you take water and you add cold to it, or you make it colder, then that's called freezing, and it would become ice. And if you took your vapor and you added cold to it or made it colder, it becomes water, and we call that condensation. So obviously your students might not do it in as fluent terms, but it gives them some opportunity to use these words in communication and dialogue with one another. After they saw another person's, they would then fill this out. So now I've taken that information from my book and I've done something with it, making a visual that I can refer back to. I then explained it to someone else, so I had to think about what I drew, further encoding that information in my brain. I had to listen to someone else explain their thoughts. Then I had to take all of this and form it in my brain, making connections to what's already there and rewiring some existing connections to make this summary right here.